is our show is built on the premise of doing 3 segments, the bad, the good, and the beautiful. Now, Clint Eastwood is good, bad, ugly, and I hate ending with ugly, so we do bad, good, beautiful. So when we do that, I want to start this first segment and talk to you about the bad. There are a lot of troubles that we see today, the economy, the nation, relationships, and all that. Let's make this a game. You bring up a problem that you see in America, and we'll talk and see if there's an economic component to it. And then in the second segment, we'll come up with the solutions that you've got for us, and then we'll talk about the beautiful. So name some problems, and we'll see if we can make them economic issues.
Okay, I think the number one social problem in America is a large number of children who enter the world without a father in the home married to the mother. In 1965, Daniel Patrick Moynihan, a Democrat, later on became a senator from New York, wrote a booklet called The Negro Family, A Case for National Action. At the time, 25% of blacks were entering the world without a father in the home married to the mother, a fact that Moynihan attributed to slavery and to Jim Crow. We can debate that, but that's what he thought.
Right.
Fast forward, Kevin, 70% of black kids now enter the world today without a father in the home married to the mother. 50% of Hispanic kids do, 25% of white kids do, 40% of all kids in America. And Obama said, forget elder, Obama said a kid raised without a father is 5 times more likely to be poor and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in jail. I argue what's happened is because of their welfare state, this is where the economic component comes in, we have incentivized women to marry the government and have incentivized men to abandon their financial and moral responsibility.
Oh, wow. All right. So you've given us a genuine bad. It's our culture collapsing, especially in minority communities, but really across the board. And then you said, here's the economic aspect. I've got a friend who said he remembers growing up and when things changed with Lyndon Johnson, he says, one time my mom wouldn't let me play with the neighbor kids because they got no daddy in the home. But then a few years later, we were shipping my dad off when the welfare people came by to pretend like there was no daddy in the home because we'd get more money. Is that what happened?
That's exactly what happened. And even a left-wing magazine called The Atlantic just a few months ago had a big article about all the decisions that a young couple makes when they bring a child into the world, from determining the name to determining what school. But no decision is more important than the neighborhood and whether or not that neighborhood has plenty of 2-parent households. The more 2-parent households, the better. When you're in a neighborhood where there are a whole bunch of single-parent households, all sorts of bad things flow from that. So,
perfect example.
And when Lyndon Johnson launched his war on poverty, Kevin, he literally sent social workers knocking on doors, door to door, to apprise women of the availability of welfare, provided there was no man in the house. So within a matter of a few years, the percentage of blacks who were on welfare exploded just in that little bit of time. And since then, we spent over $22 trillion on social welfare. If you look at a trend line and look at the proliferation of kids being brought into the world, those lines parallel each other. So again, there's a financial incentive. And it's also happening in England as well. So it's not just racial. You give somebody, you incentivize bad slovenly behavior, you're going to get more bad slovenly behavior.